taking a stand.
Get him
I
out of
want
my
him
hair.
to see Commando.
I'll be back. Yeah.
Don't you know he throws a buzzsaw and it like cuts some guy's skull off? I need him to see this.
He wants to see it. He should see it.
You know, we were just talking about that the other day, is how in the 80s they took all these like really hardcore rated R movies and made them children's cartoons.
Right?
RoboCop and Rambo. I mean, Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this Vietnam veteran with post-traumatic stress, and now he's like leading a team of freedom fighters.
It's an action figure.
Yeah.
A breakfast cereal.
Rambo pops.
Ah, good times.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, when the shipment does get here, and we do get the rest, anything you guys have read this week that's was new that you enjoyed, or anything you're looking forward to that's coming up?
I read, well, actually, I waited because I didn't have 700, but I read the beginnings of Thor. 700 and 701. Pretty interesting.
Really?
Pretty interesting and really cool because I like big monsters any old way. It's Mangog coming back, wreaking havoc. But it helps to, if anyone's interested, and you read 700, it helps to explain the different Thors and what's going on with Thor
What's
now.
happening? What's happening?
Yeah, and it's clears it up a little bit. I mean, it gives some,
Kind of a nice jumping on
yeah,
point.
sort of like the Legacy book was, where it went back and and said how the heroes, they were heroes of different eras and different pasts and things like that.
Yeah.
Sort of like that they explain how the different Thors and what's going on. And
Cool.
How certain there are different hammers, like the War God Thor and things like that. But it explains it. It helps explain what's going on.
That's cool.
And I thought it was cool. And it was neat. And on 700, there's several different artists and things on it. It was really cool. And it had a little, the Beta Ray Thor. Not Beta Ray Thor, but with the
Beta Ray
little
Bill?
frog, the frog
Oh,
Thor.
yeah, the frog.
The frog Thor was in. I mean, it was just pretty cool. It just went through it, and I tried, I guess, to clear up, some things about Thor for people that wouldn't maybe have an understanding of what's going on. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And enjoyable art. So
Cool.
I was looking forward to that.
Well, since it was a dry run this week, there wasn't much to buy.
Yeah.
I did manage to spend some money in here anyway, because I usually do. But that amazing Spider-Man 107 that I bought off you, I enjoyed reading that.
Yeah.
I'd read it before a long time ago, but I actually reread it.
I saw that.
It's a Spider.
Penned that for you. I said, that looks like a Tim.
Spider Slayer.
Yeah.
Good story.
That's cool.
Stan Lee wrote it, and
I loved
Romita drew it.
I love Spider-Man at that time.
Yeah.
Like going through that time, because Gil Kane that's like Morbius is like 100 and 102.
Yep.
And then there's the Craven comes in 103, 104. It's like a nice little run there.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. It's pretty cool.
Good stuff. So I enjoyed reading that, and of course, you had to smell it. Had to open up the book and smell it, because it's got that nostalgic smell to it.
Yeah.
Tell me that you don't do that, guys. I know you do.
I admit it.
Yeah.
Smell like the attic.
Yep.
So what I was thinking, because I don't think any of us are primarily DC comic fans. I mean, I am definitely not, and you were definitely not.
No.
You were definitely
We read Batman stuff. I
I've
think we would
bought
agree a lot of
more.
times.
I've bought more DC comics in the past 2 years than I have my whole life.
Sure.
Just because some of the artists that I enjoy do them. Now I've dropped a few titles in the upcoming months because those guys aren't on them anymore.
Right.
So it's just we've ran that topic into the ground several times here. We follow the artists.
Well, when there was a Swamp Thing title, I mean, I actually haven't read all the incarnations of Swamp Thing, but for the most part, Saga, I have every issue. So at one point in time, I really looked forward to it because I like that character.
Sure.
And and Kelly Jones, of course, putting out the 6-parter, Swamp Thing. I mean, those kind of things I pick up. If there's something that features him, I would get it. I like Deadman too until I saw that Neil Adams thing. I was like, jeez.
But I'm Marvel driven. I just am.
Okay.
We are. I think we are.
Go ahead.
So what I was thinking,
True
I
story.
ordered some extra copies of the Doomsday Clock 12-issue series.
Okay.
So what I was thinking was we all read it.
Okay.
And then just weigh in from that kind of, I don't want to say outsider point of view, but I know that if I read that and understand all of it and don't have to be like, well, who is this or that, they have to be doing a fairly decent job because I don't stay up to date.
Right.
Personally, I don't stay even up to date on all the Rebirth stuff.
It's a cool Rorschach cover there.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And I also like the way the other variant there, the end is here. It kind of plays off of that, Watchmen kind of cover. I mean, it's definitely going for that look. So
like the Batman.
Yeah, like
Watchmen.
Batman, Watchmen, Spider-Man,
Spiderman.
yeah, Wonderman, all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just to throw it out there, we have the new Christmas guide. It's the previews gift guide, and they're free if you get a chance to stop in. We don't have the Sears Christmas catalog anymore, but we have the next best thing. It's like they took all the pages of that you care about,
Right.
and threw it all into a little book that you can come stop by, pick up for nothing. Anything in it you want to order, we guarantee it'll be here before Christmas, and you don't pay shipping or anything.
Awesome.
I got another new book, real quick. Spider-Man versus Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
Bacallo.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bacallo.
Chris Bacallo. Yep, awesome.
Spider-Man versus Deadpool.
The art is really cool. Once again, Hellcow appeared, and I was like, yeah.
All right.
Amphibian and Hellcow.
Hell cow.
Hellcow.
There's a word you don't hear every day. It's like
Hellcow.
Paste Pot Pete.
Yeah. Oh, we have
Ah.
it! Ha the
Yeah.
old paste pot
Found a
Pete
way to
hadn't been
throw
out there
that
for a
in
while,
there.
laddie.
See?
Yeah.
I got to throw that in there.
That is good stuff.
If he shows up in a Marvel movie, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Paste
Yeah.
pot
Then you know they're digging deep.
Pete. Deep.
Digging super deep.
Wow.
Deep,
Who-
deep undercover.
Oh boy.
Thank you very much.
I was gonna
Wait a
say,
minute, where's it at?
Shaking his head ruefully. Yeah, I'm going back to the whole Marvel thing, but you know, my uncles had a lot of DC stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you think I would have been like a big, you know, Superman, Batman, Flash, you know, because their stuff was from the '60s,
Mm-hmm.
and I was reading that, you know, when like I say, that was my first exposure to comic books was their stuff, you know, and the Dell comics and the Gold Key comics.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hyman had the corner on the Gold and the Dell Key, or the Gold Key and the Dell comics. I mean, it's just like all about it.
Yeah.
You know, Magnus and all that stuff. But you think I would have been predisposed to buying DC stuff whenever I was younger, but that Marvel stuff just popped. I mean, it was
Sure.
just,
And they touched on that
Yeah.
in that Robert Kirkman thing. They talk about it, how it was just so visually stunning,
Yeah.
and appealing.
Yep.
And basically, the stuff that was going on in DC was sort of like cookie cutter, kind of boring.
Yeah.
looking, you know, and all of a
Crypto
sudden-
the Super Dog. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
You're going to compare that to Spider-Man jumping off the page at you every month?
Well, I know I'd said it before, but they said that in the '60s and even the '70s, it was a thing where the DC characters were your parents, your teachers, the authority figures,
Yes.
and the Marvel characters were your friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's definitely where.
People you could relate to.
Yeah, and you being especially younger people.
Younger people.
Yeah, which if you're not bottom feeding the program,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, then where are we headed?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a rather rocky and shaky return.
Yes.
Power through it, though. You know? Power through it.
We did power through it. So, guys, next week we're going to be looking for a mailbag. Send us some some questions and
Give us some fodder.
Yes.
yeah, throw some stuff out there. I think next week Gary Kramer, the Crame himself, will be back. There's a chance that our special guest Austin Gillen may return as well.
He may.
He may, and I hope he shows up in one of his costume superhero clad outfits because I always get a kick out of that.
I'd be
Yes.
disappointed if he didn't.
I
Yes.
would be too. In fact, we might not even unlock the door.
Yeah.
Might just be like, "Hey, man."
You
like a
might hear
regular
this little
guy.
tapping. It's Austin outside. Come on, guys.
You look like a regular guy. You take that crap, down to the bookstore.
Yeah. Yeah. No Batman pajamas, no admittance.
I'm gonna have a sign that says that and stick it out front.
You're out of control.
What are you gonna do? All right. Well, any last thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up this week?
I don't think so. I'm good.
I've said everything I want to say.
I'm
You
happy.
could have ended this half an hour
I'm
ago.
happy. I'm happy.
I've just been sitting here listening, having a good old time.
Just keep reading.
Yeah. Yes.
All right then.
True believer.
How about you, Walls? Anything about you?
I enjoy the time we spend together.
Yeah.
I can't-
Another satisfied
yeah,
customer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good time.
I'm good.
I watch and listen. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I watch some of the comic related stuff. And there's a million of those podcasts out there where there's a list, and they're going right down the line like it's headline news, and they're going over. Okay, this is where Justice League was, and this is what happened here, and this is about Wonder Woman, and this, and that's great. I mean, it's a very saturated market, and the ones I enjoy the most are the ones where folks are sitting around talking and having a conversation. If I'm in my car. Or I got it on YouTube at the house, and
I
I'm
feel
doing
like you're
stuff.
part of it.
I'm like part of this conversation. I'm just not chiming in, but it's very much a conversation. And so you know, I got to assume if you're watching this still after 26 episodes, then you don't mind our fairly relaxed,
loose.
Yeah, and some people would say, well, that doesn't feel very professional. There's plenty of professional podcasts out there. This one's just supposed to be fun.
I don't think it would be. I don't think I'd want to do it if it was one of those professional ones.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't. I mean, we cover some pretty serious topics, or we stay on task for the most part.
I just
how many goof off a lot.
Yeah,
and I want to ask how much. Obviously it's a rhetorical question because again, you can't answer right now.
Yeah.
But how many times have you been somewhere with your friends in your life where there's a conversation at the end, you're like, damn, I wish that was taped. I wish I could go back to that. And that's kind of what this all came out of, was we're sitting around just talking about comics and what we think. And
you need to roll tape on that.
Yeah, and so...
Yeah, we're all over the place. That's
so
just how it is.
Yeah.
But I think the common thing, honestly, I mean, on a serious note, beyond there, is that we love comic books. We really do.
Yeah.
We love the genre.
Yeah.
Try to bring some
it's like UHF and it's like UHF and Spatula City. We're sitting there. Hi, I'm George Davis, owner of Calling All Heroes Comics. I love comics so much, bought the company. I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I'm going. On that note, we're going to hit the music, which is probably the most professional part of this show.
Exactly.
It is.
I am George, and I am once again joined this week by Tim.
Hey.
And Walls.
Hey there.
Next week, Kramer will return. The return of Kramer.
Return of Pops.
You guys.
You're